Hello everyone, and welcome back to the second preview of the first Nemesis DLC with the Air Assault, and this time around we have a look at the 52nd, the Soviet-Afghan veterans coming in as the pack division of this patch, and they already start to have some interesting looking units here in the logistics tab. They have the Cross here, which we saw in 79th and 6th motor already, but they also have a big new chopper here with the Mi 6A as a supply chopper with 2000 supply in it. Really good looking helicopter. And the big boy until the Mi 26 came around. Everything here still work in progress once more, guys. So a couple of models and so on still might get some change and some glow ups. But yeah, in general, what we got here is what we will get with the launch of the DLC. Chaika being the next cool looking CV here, PTR with some stuff on top, some radio operating stuff here on top. Really cool looking little BTR model. Belojor and Mi 9 as your other CVs. So yeah, decent slot cost as well. Supply logistics, a decent tab here, but nothing super fancy. Then infantry tab, you get a lot of fancy. We start with the Commandantura here, coming in UWATs, but also having a Commandantura BTR here that also has the markings on it. We have the Ukraine security forces here, which can come in a Ural that has the first rocket pod. Yeah, the unit card still gonna change. 40-point unit here. It actually is extra armored here. I'm not sure if 2 frontal armor is realistic. Maybe one would be better. But yeah, it also has just a BTR turret here added on top. VRDM turret with a 14.5mm. And on top of that, a rocket pod. Absolutely wired looking. And yeah, this division really is the Mad Max division. Coming in here. And the Okrana, cool combo of that, pretty cheap combo of that. With the security force here that also have an MG. Then we go on with the Sergeant Saperi here, which have a RPG 7 VM, a decent range, relatively low penetration. You get some short, small little empty MU 1D here as a transport little vehicle. BTR 70D with some extra frontal armor plates here. And the classic BTR-D and the Luat's little air deployable Jeep here as a transport for these guys. Saperis, gonna be a bit more interesting with their transport options. Have the same here up to the BTR-70D. It's a 5-man squad with TNT. And then you have the BTR-70 S5 with the small rocket pod, the S5 rocket pod. But you also have an S8 with the big rockets. Stats of the rockets are 1750 meter range. Damage output is the same as the rocket pods and helis or planes. And they also have an aim time though of 2 seconds. So yes, they are strong. They can do a lot of damage, but they have to aim. They don't have the full 2000 meter range because that would be just a bit busted. But they still gonna be bringing some pain to the enemy, and it's a really cool and fancy looking units here as well, with these BTRs with the rocket pods on top. And the Rise version, which is a new short range launcher, the RPO got buffed a bit in range. This one here has a bit more damage, but only being one shot, being a bit closer, but way bigger, 110mm. The one shot does a bit more damage. And they come in the BTR-70, the MTMU, and then they have a BTR-70 with 4 Rise put on top. 850 meter range. Really hard-hitting rocket launcher. Gonna be quite interesting to use as well. To just mob out infantry with in combination with the Saperi themselves. Then NS FV and the AGS-17 here coming around in only the normal transports. And then we come to the DSHs here, which come in BMP2Ds, up armored BMP2s with Concourse on top. So that's nice as well. You get some normal IFVs in this deck next to the interesting BTRs, and then you get some RPG-7 or RPG-16. RPG-16, interesting anti-tank rocket launcher as well. Has the longest range of them all, but has really low pen and relatively low accuracy as well. So obviously with range stacking, the accuracy gets decent in shorter ranges, but it's kind of like a recoilless rifle more so that can't hit infantry. Or like a step between ATGM and rocket launcher. Not as deadly as an Akpilas or anything like that, but having the good range here on that interesting old rocket launcher is quite cool. And yeah, RPG-7 if you want to have a bit more damage here, but a bit lower range. And then Pulamachiki with the RPG-18, but extra firepower. Can still come in BMP-2s. Can come in Mi-8s as well though, which the others here can't. Dejan Mekis can only come in BTRs, including one with a AGS on top. So another version number 4. And then we have the helicopter versions with the Dejan RPG, which can come even in the Mi-8 MTV helicopters that have some ECM, and the Afghansky, which can come in Mi-24D Dejans, which we first saw on the 35th. Only for recon here though. Here you see them for normal infantry as transport. And these guys have an RPO. The Dejan Afghanskys here coming in with 8 hit points, BKMs, and an RPOA. So a bit of a rocket launcher there as well. 675 meter rocket for this, and that all with a Mi-24D. It's a nice combo as well. So this is going to be interesting. The first Mi-24D transportable infantry here. In the infantry tab. Then we have more transports here. The SPG-9 coming in BTRs, coming in the MT MU-1D, or coming in one MT M1UD with an SPG-9. The Mad Max doesn't stop. Another unit here coming around with just something welded on top of it. We have ATGMs here as well, only coming in standard transport though. Or Luats with an SPG-9 in the rear, if you want to have some more recoilless rifles. So really, really fancy transports. I'm not quite sure why you should take this thing though, if you can just get these guys for 15 points cheaper. Yes, they have less stealth and lower optics, but they come with another SPG. So yeah, this is a trade-off where I would say the normal SPG-9 is just better with the, obviously slower and all, so the Luats has its point there, but I think it's a bit too expensive for what it does there as well. Yeah, decent infantry tab though. Recon tab, artillery tab is decent as well. You have some classics here that we have seen in the other airborne divisions with the Vajilek on the MTLB. We have the Nonas, we have Dejant T-30s, some normal infantry mortars. We have the small Grad here as well, the Grad V with only 12 rockets, but cheaper reload and everything. These things are quite nice. Meanwhile, 40 rocket Grad here with the normal BM21 Grad as well. One Stika actually, some self-propelled howitzers if you want some. And then we have these really overcompensating mortars with 240mm, hitting really hard. And there is also a version with cluster ammunition, which is really interesting. First mortar with cluster rounds. That's gonna be quite the interesting unit as well. Not sure how well this will perform. As you can see, they're super pricey right now. They have long range as you can see as well though, so they're kind of more like a normal artillery piece more than a mortar. It's kind of a thing in between. But yeah, the M24 or M240 here, 40mm mortar is quite a thing as well. So cool unique unit here for the division. Tank tab gets you some ATGMs here in form of the Luats with a Fagot on top, and then some T-62s with additions here from the Afghan war as well, with protection against AT rocket launcher from the side and the rear, giving them one extra side and rear armor compared to the normal T-62 versions, but costing you 5 point extra for that as well. T-62 MD here with the rocket, or with the missile, and the MD1 without it. and MDK leader without it as well. So yeah, decent tank, but obviously not really the most competitive tanks. So tanks, a bit of a weakness of this deck, as they're supposed to be. As you have strong infantry, though no forward deployment directly, and you have decent artillery, and you have IFVs with BMP2s. So yeah, tanks not being the strongest makes absolute sense. Recon also having some fancy units. Rear stat not being so special, but having exceptional optics is nice. The ZSU-23 though, that is pretty special. Has some extra range against ground targets here with 1,400 meters, and can hit helicopters in a decent range as well. So forward deploy recon AA can't hit airplanes, but can hit helicopters and has exceptional optics as well. So good fire support against infantry, good protection against helicopters, and exceptional optics, so it can spot for you. Really, really interesting unit. Gonna see how it plays out. I think this thing gonna be fantastic though. Not having AT at the moment, the Eugen still has to figure out how to implement that for their AA without making them OP. Yeah, we'll see if they can figure that out at some point in the future. BRDM2, classic. The Dejan Razvedka here and the Dejan Mod Razvedka being good options as well. The Dejan Razvedka can come in the Mi-24D as well. And some Mi-8 options. Luwats with an AG S17 wielded in the rear. We have BMB2Ds as a recon here for the Dejan Mod Razvedka. That's nice. Mi-8 PPA with the high ECM here. Only 30 ECM nowadays though. Coming in here as your recon helicopter. And then Spetsnaz GRU with a little gift from Afghanistan coming with them. Captured Stingers here as the AA. So AA recon here once more. So helicopter playing against this division, not really the play with the ZSU and the Spetsnaz here. Spetsnaz can shoot planes as well, but not the most efficient here with this basic Stinger, though still quite nice. Obviously not quite having the hit points of the SAS or so. And having low range on the RPG-27, but heavily hitting. So this is going to be a good unit, but it's not quite SAS level. They die way quicker, so you can still bomb them and stuff like that. Kill them off relatively quickly, and they lose in infantry fights as well. They have special forces, but they're only 4 guys. The Val is good, but it's not gonna save them. Yeah, AA-wise, you have decent options. It's not great though. Igla here, that can come up in another really fancy looking GTMU 1D with the ZSU-23 welded on top of it in a really, really wild fashion. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, missing the cables here, I think. ZSU Afghansky, which we already know, this one being able to hit aircraft, but also only limited range Strela 10M to hit some aircraft as well. And then we have some Urals here in different shapes with ZPU and ZSU. ZPU here, the quadruple 14.5mm. Models still might change a bit, but yeah, interesting AA pieces as well here coming around. A bit more of an infantry support weapon potentially as well. Anti-aircraft range for sure really low. Helicopter and AA range somewhat low as well, though at least you can drive somewhat close with these in comparison to the infantry-based ones, so could be actually decent against helicopters. We're gonna see how it goes though. Helicopter options in this deck, not the best, but decent. You got a lot of Mi-8 options, a lot of different rocket versions here, and then Mi-8 MT Escorty coming around next, bringing around their big rockets here, 240mm, Mi-8 MT Gov with the gun pods, Mi-24P with the R60M as an AA version is the new one. So yeah, the equivalent to what we saw with the Apache AA on the other side. Decent A, but yeah, only 4 damage air-to-air missiles, so helpful against any 8 hit point helicopters, but not amazing against anything better than that. Anti-aircraft range somewhat limited as well, but great rocket pods and a good 30mm here in the front as well. So Mi-24P gonna be pretty good as well. And the air tap a bit better than what we saw with the one at first in the ground strike capabilities. Fighters still limited to MiG-23s, So that's a bit of a limitation, having the air version and the R24R version here as your AA missiles. And then Su-25s though, you get some there, but not the rocket version, not the AT version, just the cluster and the HE version, so not the best there. MiG-27M coming in as a napalm, and then MiG-27 K80 with the KH-29L with really great long-range missile, really strong ATGM, and the MiG-27 K82 with a pretty strong AT missile as well, plus some air-to-air missiles here on top of this thing. This one here having rockets for the ground, and then a Mi-27K with ATGM LGBs as well. So really solid air attack. Not the strongest out there though, which is fine. Tanks and air not being amazing. AA being relatively weak, no long range there. So protecting your helicopters is going to be a bit of a struggle, but it is doable. And then yeah, strong helicopters here, decent transports for with helicopters and all here, and then strong IFVs and especially the BTR is going to be really interesting. Infantry itself pretty solid as well. So this is going to be a fun division. Recon Tab, a fantastic one as well, and a unique one as well. So yeah, some fancy stuff coming in with this DLC. And if you have the gold edition, you will get this DLC for free. Otherwise, it will be $5. So yep, let me know what you think about this deck and how strong you think it will be on the ladder. And if you want to see more videos with it, consider leaving a subscription down below so you don't miss those. And I hope to see you next one. Bye bye, and have a good day.